After 2 games on the road, the Hyannis Harborough will head on their way over to McKeon Park for their first home game of the season here in the Cape Cod Baseball League. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to Harborough Baseball and the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Joined alongside my broadcaster partner, Jack Keffer. I'm Gabe Sustigan. Jack, finally you get to see the confines here of McKeon Park. Just what are your initial reactions to it all?
Beautiful field. Half-mast, obviously, in memory of the tragedy in Orlando earlier this morning. As across the Cape Cod League, we will be remembering that and wishing for the best. But the park itself is absolutely gorgeous. Wish we could see a little bit more of that beautiful bay view that's a little bit beyond those trees out in right center field. But nonetheless, still an unbelievable park here in Hyannis.
No doubt about that. As we were getting set, the Hyannis Harborough come in, though, at 0-2 after they were the only team, along with Harwich, to play a game yesterday. As we're getting underway, Alex Eubanks out of Clemson takes the first pitch, and we're underway with a strike there to Toby Hanley. While Bourne on the other end did not play, so Bourne playing their second straight game against Hyannis, something you don't really see too often, as Eubanks deals in that one for 2 quick strikes on Hanley. We'll give you the defense for the Hyannis Harborough. Eubanks pitching behind the mound tonight will be Benito Santiago. Left, right in the infield, it'll be Carl Stajuar. We'll get to him later on as the powerful hitter from New Mexico. And the 0-2 pitch got him looking there was Eubanks. So Eubanks early on gets first strikeout looking to Toby Hanley to begin the game as we'll go the rest of the defense here. Zach Rutherford staying there over at shortstop. Peter Zyla getting his second start over at second base where he played initially against Bourne. Cody Henry over at first, and in the outfield left to right, Cameron Este, Trey Capricorn, and Trey Truitt in right field. So you ball in there for a strike. And as we mentioned, Jack, quick start for Eubanks here on the mound. As he sets her an 0-1 count and a swing there, but not able to get it in his glove. There is Stajuar, and it rolls out into left field. Turning from first now is Willie Yawn, sliding in there and called safe. As it was a close play there over at second, but a double there with 1 out for Willie Yawn.
Yeah, very tough play there. Stajuar just out of his reach. Didn't really get down and dirty for it. First opportunity as a Harbor Hawk, and then Este out in left field. He throws left-handed, so it's difficult to get across his body, plant his feet and throw, and some good speed from Jan. Extends that, what would have been a single, a nice little double down the line.
So here is Eubanks now will be facing Connor Wong. Connor Wong rips that one, diving to Stajuar, picking it up there is Rutherford. Has to make the play at first, but he won't be able to get there in time. So now runners on the corners for Bourne with 1 out.
Tough play there for Stajuar again, going right back at him. This time to the forehand side. And he goes to his belly. Rutherford didn't really have a play at first, but he also didn't have a play at third. No one was covering as Eubanks recognized that, but just not in time. And now runners on the corners with 1 out. And Eubanks, worked himself out of a jam here in the early beginnings.
So Connor McVeigh up now. The rest of the lineup will be Justin Yurchek, Tyler Houston, Jeremy Ehrman, Nate Cordy, and Rob Henry for the Bourne Braves. As Alex Euping, as we mentioned, redshirt freshman, 6'2", 185 pounds from the University of Clemson. He's joined alongside by the DH today in Drew Wharton. As he deals a 1-0. That one is a bouncer over to Stajuar. He fires and launches it over to first, but he's not going to get there in time, and it trickles past Henry. Now moving over from second to third is Yawn, and scoring on that play, it will be Connor Wong. Willie Yawn will be coming in to score, and it's 1-0 Bourne.
Stajuar's having a tough go at his first first outing as a Harbor Hawk. Wow. 3 straight balls, all tough plays. That one took a tough hop. Stajuar had to really back up to field it, and then he just didn't deliver on the throw.
They're actually going to give that an error there to Stajuar on that play. So runners still in the corners, but a base runner already on the board for the Braves.
Welcome to the Cape League, Carl Stajuar.
He split times between third and first base while at New Mexico. But Cody Henry has been at first base for all 3 games so far. So Manager Gassman not likely to mix everything up so quickly with still a bunch of new guys. As Eubanks fires back, getting back safely. Talk about the stats here for Eubanks. 4.09 ERA in 11 games started, 23 appearances, 6-5 record, 3 saves. Throws back again, called safe again. 81 and a third innings pitched, 93 hits, 50 runs, 37 of them earned, 21 walks, 70 strikeouts, and a 283 batter average against. So he gets strikeouts, but definitely a lot of contact for the pitcher from Clemson. And as that one goes outside, it'll be a 2-1 count.
Yeah, very talented pitcher in Eubanks. Number 2 right-hander in South Carolina by Diamond Prospects. Number 7 ranked by a perfect game. He's very talented.
And that one is hit high into right center field. Moving back is Truitt, though, right at the warning track. He makes the catch, but tagging up to score will be Wong, and it's 2-0 Bourne.
Good piece of wood there from McVeigh. Smoked that into deep right field. Just got a little bit under. It was a high pitch from Eubanks. Looks like he missed his spot on the fastball.
So sacrifice flying away there for your check. So Tyler Houston up to bat, and he takes a fastball upstairs for ball 1. Definitely put a shot out there, almost to the 332 mark out there in right field. Truitt able to track it down. 1-0, fouled off by Houston in a 1-1 count.
Yeah, and for Eubanks, really that big key. Talked about all those statistics. Only 21 walks in 83 innings pitched this year. Good command. Pitches to contact, like right there.
Chopper over to Stadjwar. He bobbles it again and gets it over to first, but getting there safely once again is Houston. So Carl Stadjwar, not the way he wanted to go here in the first inning over at third base. Multiple plays over there and just not able to get anything over there in time.
Rude awakening to Cape Cod. But hey, he'll come up to the plate in the first or second inning, and you're going to see what this kid can really do. It's all about rebounding from your mistakes, and Carl Stadjwar just getting killed over there at third.
It'll be his second error already of the day, as losing that is Santiago, and diving and sliding in will be McVeigh, as Santiago wasn't prepared for him to go and steal third there. So now runners on the corners once again.
Seems like Hyannis has a little hangover from last night's loss against Harwich. Some sloppy play early on.
Eubanks sets the 1-0. Swing and a miss by Ehrman. It'll be a 1-1 count.
Ehrman losing his footing there a little bit. Looks to his coach and steps out of the box, stretching a little bit, and also practicing on his balance.
And another swing there and a miss by Ehrman. Makes it a 1-2 count. Stadjwar, as we mentioned, may have been struggling, although he's joined by 2 of their New Mexico teammates in James Harrington's Tyler Stevens, who are in the bullpen tonight. Many of them starters, but possibly see them as runner goes. Swing and a miss there, though, by Ehrman. And he goes down swinging, and Alex Eubanks finally gets out of it, but not before Carl Stadjwar. Few plays over at third base, and the Bourne Braves allowed to get themselves on the board. They lead 2-0 here at McKeon Park early. We head to the bottom of the first here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Back here in McKeon Park, as it's a 2-0 lead for the Bourne Braves as we head to this bottom of the first inning. And pitcher on the mound here for the Bourne Braves will be A.J. Moore, as he'll face off here against the lineup for the Hyannis Harbocks, and Drake Habercorn leading off for them, followed by Peter Zyla as that one misses for a ball. Zach Rutherford in the 3 spot, followed by Trey Truitt cleaning up. Stajuar, Benito Santiago, Cody Henry, Cameron Este, and Drew Wharton, the DH, filling up the lineup for the Harbocks tonight and getting a piece of that one, but fouling it back. And it'll be a 1-1 count.
A.J. Moore out of Kennesaw State in the Atlantic Sun Conference. Had a better year in his sophomore year, 4.48 ERA in 13 appearances, 70 innings of work. Only 30 walks, 72 strikeouts, so command got a lot better from his freshman year where he walked 40 and struck out only 60.
Habercorn fouled that one off, 2-2 count. We'll give the defense here as well for the Bourne Braves. Catching the pitches behind home plate will be Connor Wong. And Moore, the 2-2 pitch. And strike 3 call. Got him looking at Habercorn there in the first strikeout of the day for Moore.
That's a great pitch on the outside corner. Drops the curveball right in. And Habercorn just has no answer. Great work from A.J. Moore early on, establishing his off-speed pitch as a threat to these Hyannis hitters.
Left to right in the infield will be Willie Young at third, Ehrman at short, Connor McVeigh at second. And that one gets a little too inside there to Peter Zyla for ball 1. After McVeigh, it'll be Yurchek at first, and the outfield left to right, Tyler Houston, Toby Hanley, as that one's called for a strike, and Rob Henry, no relation to Cody Henry, though, unfortunately. But it's a 1-1 count to Zyla, and that one way in the dirt there for ball 2.
A.J. Moore trying to channel some Jake Arrieta with the unbuttoned shirt and the beard. Also got that cross necklace right on the chest. We'll see if it works for him today. Not many people can channel Jake Arrieta that well, though.
The 2-1. And a swing and a miss there at the breaking pitch by Zyla makes it 2-2. And that is, I mean, I know I've seen Arrieta a lot of times, but that is an aggressive far down amount of buttons that he's got there. 2-2, swing and a miss by Zyla, and the second strikeout for Moore in the inning.
Yeah, it just wasn't the plate approach that Zyla was looking for. Swinging at those 2 pitches way out of the zone on the outside corner, and he sees Habercorn go down on a curveball that hits on the outside corner, and Zyla thinking, wow, I got to swing at those pitches too.
Rutherford tips that one off for his first strike.
Well, what a start Zach Rutherford is having here on the Cape League. 5 for 10 with already a triple and 2 doubles. Also leading the team with 2 RBIs.
0-2 count for Rutherford. His one main point of competition at shortstop will be Taylor Walls. Outstanding player from Florida State, although they're still playing the Super Regionals. Actually got the win yesterday against Florida.
Walls 1 for 5 with an RBI double and a 3-0 win.
The 0-2 by Moore, just outside for ball 1. So
Thomas thought he had him there on the outside corner. Excuse me, Wong did on the outside corner. Joey Thomas, the starting catcher, now taking a seat for Bourne.
That one goes in for a ball, so a 2-2 count for A.J. Moore.
Rutherford has done really well with 2 strikes against him past 2 games.
And that one called strike there on Zach Rutherford. Called strike swinging there for him. So sat down the side there, did A.J. Moore with 3 strikeouts. So we head to the top of the second with Bourne still leading 2-0 here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. but I don't know the name. Back here in McKeon Park, 2-0. The Bourne Braves lead as we head to the second inning of play. Eubanks back on the mound. And strike called there on Nate Cordy, the DH today for the Bourne Braves. Eubanks, the 0-1 pitch, and a swing and a miss by Cordy quickly at 2 strikes.
Good-looking pitch from Eubanks there. He settled in well. He's executed his pitches. Defense needs to back him up.
Have one way upstairs for ball 1. But 2 errors by Stajuar in that first inning. And that one slightly chopped at by Cordy. Stays at a 1-2 count. Coming in from New Mexico, and .941 fielding percentage, though, for Stajuar with 12 errors on the season. 1-2, fouled again slightly by Cordy. And it'll stay at a 1-2 count.
Cordy out of Gannon State University. There's a right fielder there.
1-2. Sounds like he broke the bat there. It trickles, but losing it there is Eubanks, and he can't pick it up off the grass. Likely go down as another error possibly for the Harbrox, which would make it 3 today, and it will go down as an error on Eubanks. So it's 3 errors today for Hyannis.
Hey, you just got to field your position. That's not a new concept, but, you know, I guess there hasn't been enough practice time for Hyannis with the PFPs. We've seen 2 Hyannis pitchers struggle with those plays there. We saw a bunt single yesterday against Harwich, and so far they haven't executed defensively what they need to.
So Eubanks been pitching well, but defensively, both himself and his defense behind him has not been able to help him out. And he gets that one, though, in the dirt for a 2-0 count on Rob Henry. Man on first in Nate Cordy. It's Rob Henry playing right field today. Eubanks sets in a big hack there by Henry for strike 1. Eubanks sets again. Taking the lead is Cardi. And that one too low as well. Makes it a 3-1 count.
Rob Henry, freshman out of Brown. 245 batting average in 37 games played. Scored 20 runs on the season. And did pretty well in his second year at Brown.
Fouling that one off is Henry. Full count for Eubanks after being down 3-1. In that previous inning, A.J. Moore struck out the side against Hyannis. So Eubanks trying to keep up with the pitching of the other side of Bourne. Payoff pitch by Eubanks, and getting a piece of that into center field, short there. And finally calling off Truitt was Habercorn to record the first out of the inning.
Good range from Habercorn. Truitt definitely had it, but always listening to your center fielder, the captain of the outfield. Actually, the captain of the infield, too. If he calls you off on a fly ball, center fielder's he has priority over that. So, and that's a fielder that you like to trust, and Habercorn made some fantastic plays this year for Cincinnati. Defensively, just with his speed, can track down balls. You got a trusted outfield in him.
First pitch is upstairs to Toby Hanley. We saw Trey Truitt in the previous game at Harwood show some speed as he tried to make a diving catch later in that game. Not able to make the play, though, but definitely showed off a flash there of what he can be possibly doing. As that one hits the lower corner there on Hanley for a 1-1 count.
Hanley, the junior, playing last year for Brewster, and this year changing teams at 283 for them in 36 games played. 6 doubles and 16 RBIs. Pretty good stats.
1-1 swing, but fouled into the glove of Santiago was Hanley. And he gets it a 1-2 count for Eubanks.
And you know what's impressive to me? 15 stolen bases in those 36 games. And he got on base a lot, 23 walks.
Chopper over to Sajuari. Gives it to second, fires out at first, not in time, but Hyannis gets the lead runner for the second out.
And good work from Stadjahar. We saw a play earlier in the game where it took a tough high bounce off the grass, and this one collects it calm, cool. He knows he's going to go to second with it, and obviously the speed from Hadley. Can't really turn the double play there with a big bounce like that. He gets down the line quickly.
So with 2 away now and a man on first for Bourne, leading 2-0 in the top of the second. Willie Young steps up here and takes that one in for strike one.
Jan also playing some Summer League last year, but in the Perfect Game League for the Newark Pilots. Hit 254 with 10 doubles, 21 RBIs. And, you know, no matter where you're playing college ball, these college coaches require these Division I players to do it.
That one slightly popped, but it moves farther into right field. Truitt right under it, and he makes it for the final out of the inning. So a better inning for the Hard Rocks as Eubanks shows a little bit, leaves one man stranded, but Bourne still leads 2-0 as we head to the bottom of the second here at McKeon Park on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Back here in McKeon Park as we head to the bottom of the second inning for Hyannis. Trailing 2-0 to the Bourne Braves, and Hyannis' third game of the season, while only Bourne's second. And their second straight against Hyannis. Bourne winning the first game at Dorman Park 3-2 after a game Hyannis will likely want to forget. Walking the game-winning run after the bases were loaded. And then Hyannis having to go to play in Harwich in damp conditions and falling to the Mariners 12-4.
But, you know, both Daniel Johnson and Garrett Cave, who pitched in that ninth inning and were responsible for those 4 walks, got a chance yesterday against Harwich, pitched very well. Both players looking really strong on the mound when they find the zone. Garrett Cave touching 96 miles an hour.
A.J. Moore back on the mound for the Bourne Braves. Struck out the side in the first inning. He has a 2-1 count on Truitt, but he makes it a 3-1. The ball inside.
26 strikeouts in less than 3 games for Hyannis.
The 3-1, that one outside. So a walk there for Truitt. In fact, only their second walk of the season for Hyannis. But it's a leadoff walk, and Truitt aboard.
Truitt had 40 walks in the regular season for a .430 on base percentage, and you're exactly right. Only 2 walks on the season in 2 games. Got to be more patient at bat there.
First pitch in as we now finally see Carl Stadjahar. We mentioned before we would get to him once he comes up. Talked about it a little before. Mountain West Conference Tony Gwynn Player of the Year. Throw over to first, getting back safely is Truitt. Jack mentioned before, third-team All-American Louisville Slugger. And 7th in the nation with 160 total bases. And the 0-1 makes it a 1-1 for Stadjahar.
He was a freshman All-American last year. Set a record at New Mexico with 53 RBIs. Was a Colorado State player his senior year, so he's got the accolades. Can he bring him to the table here in the Cape League in really his first summer on the Cape against the best competition? As we've seen what he can do, 17 home runs this past year. The power numbers are there. He brought down the strikeouts from 43 to 36 this year. Big body and Carl Stadjar, lots of power.
While Stadjar, regular season, was the conference Triple Crown winner. Batted .431, 39 RBIs, 9 home runs, and a .746 slugging. Although was 0-16 in the regionals, but he gets that one right through the gap there into left field. So the first hit of the season for Stadjar, 2 aboard with no outs for Hyannis.
It's got to feel good for Carl Stadjar after a mishap of a first inning, getting that hit, helping his team out. That 0-for-16 statistic at regionals, you know, a lot of that has to do with pitching around a good hitter. Wasn't protected by much. It was a good New Mexico team, but you're going to stay away from a lineup's best hitter. And New Mexico, one of those programs that they bring some good players in, but they don't necessarily have all the talent all throughout the lineup. And Carl Stadjar definitely subject to pitchers pitching around him.
A.J. Moore deals that one outside for ball 1 on Benito Santiago. Santiago showed some of his hitting ability in the first game with 2 doubles, but then struggled greatly in the second game against Harwich. He is 2 men aboard. Truitt on second. Stadjar over at first. And a throwback there, sliding safely, but just barely there, as Ehrman almost was able to make the play on Truitt.
Good pickoff play. Truitt just getting back in time at a big lead. Quick player. Doesn't really have the stolen bases to show for it. But an outfielder, you got to be quick.
Very deceitful move there by A.J. Moore with a quick spin. And the 1-0, and that one right back at him off his glove. Reversing himself is McVeigh. Toss over to second, play over to first, and they make the double play. A close play over at first to get Santiago out, and it's a double play for Bourne, and there's 2 away.
Boy, this has been the defining play for Hyannis throughout the last 2 games. They've just gotten unlucky like that in big situations. No outs with 2 runners on, and Santiago hits a shot up the middle that Moore deflects, and you kidding me? That's right to McVeigh at second for an easy 4-6-3 double play. That's really what Hyannis has been dealing with the past 2 games. You know, you got to execute. You need to draw walks. You need to not make errors in the field. But it just felt like everything has been against them so far, and they really need to turn around tonight.
Truitt did get over to first, and it misses there and slipping on there and trying to make the slide, play at home, and sliding in safely is Trey Truitt. Bourne lost it behind and bounced back to him a little, but Trey Truitt with the speed gets in and has cut the lead 2-1.
You know what? I'm just going to say it. I think that was a poor decision, by Connor Young, as A.J. Moore was right on top of the plate. He was right on top of the plate, and Wong recognized it, didn't flip it, and decided to just go it himself. But I really thought that A.J. Moore had the plate completely covered. They had Trey Truitt out by a mile if Wong just flips it over to Moore.
It's going to go as a passed ball there, right through the legs of Wong. He tripped also on the grass as he was trying to possibly make some kind of play to Moore and decided to take himself. It was a close play over there at home, but Hyannis gets on the board, and that one's inside on Henry for a 3-1 count.
And, you know, maybe Wong thinking that a flip would have slowed the play down and would have gotten there in time, but I still think A.J. Moore had that play covered.
Called strike there on Henry. Yeah, I'm wondering if Wong either wasn't expecting the ball to fly that far back to him from the wall, or if he was just trying to make a play that he couldn't do. And slightly choppy at that one, but foul on the first base side was Henry, and it'll stay at a full count. But just a strange situation for Wong there, and not sure exactly how he was thinking it, but A.J. Moore definitely was over on the plate. Possible to make the play, but Aggressive move by Andrew Gassman, sending Truitt over there. Payoff pitch for Moore. And that one is swung into center field. Moving back is Hanley, getting under it there, and he makes the play for the final out of the inning. As still running around, it was Henry. He thought he might have missed it there for a second.
Yeah.
As Andrew Gassman goes to meet him, but Hyannis does find their way on the board. They still trail 2-1 here at McKeon Park in their home opener. We head to the top of the third inning here on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Back here at McKeon Park, Eubanks back on the mound. Top of the third inning. Bourne leading 2-1. And Hyannis was able to score 1 run in that bottom of the second inning off a pass ball there from Connor Wong. And Trey Truitt able to come home to score at a close play. So a slight knock and gets right into the gap there into right field. Does Connor Wong, who made that play before and makes up for it by getting a leadoff single.
Cody Henry thought about it. Figured it was too deep in the hole and that he should have stayed his position. I think that he might have had it if he committed, but it was a good hit by Wong. Right in the middle of him and Peter Zyla.
So following Connor Wong will be Connor McVeigh. And he gets that one, goes in the same direction again, moving over Zyla, picks it up. Not in time, though, as it flies way over the head of Henry. Santiago's going to have to go. It makes it past Stajuar, but being there, though, is Este in left field to hold Connor Wong over at third. As we're going to see, that will go down as another error for Hyannis. And Zyla overthrew Henry. Santiago slightly underthrew Stajuar there, but at least a nice play by Este to make sure no runs scored.
Yeah, Zyla, he needs to hold on to that one. Can't be throwing that to first. Didn't have a shot. And Santiago, I appreciate the effort to throw it over to third base, but you can't be throwing a baseball around like that. Got to protect it. Got to take care of the ball. And if you keep throwing it around like that, errors on errors on errors. Wong, I thought he could have made it home.
It'll actually go down as a hit and an error. And Eubanks dances around on the mound there for a second. And everyone moves back. Men in the corners. No one out for Bourne. Already leading 2-1. Eubanks outside to Justin Yurchek. And it'll be a 1-1 count.
McVeigh getting a little bit too comfortable over at first. Maybe see a Santiago snap down throw.
1-1. Just misses upstairs for ball 2.
Yurchik, the only player to garner 2 hits against Hyannis in their first meeting on Friday.
The 2-1. That one gets right into the gap. Same location as well into right field. Wong will come in to score. Stopping at third will be McVeigh. And it's an RBI single for Justin Yurchek, and it's 3-1 Bourne.
Waited for his pitch. It was a hitter's count. Smoked that one into right field. Great work. A sophomore from Binghamton.
So just as quickly as Hyannis got a run on the board, the Bourne Braves fight right back, get one of their own, and now it's a 2-run lead once again. Eubanks sets. That one goes the opposite direction. Diving, making the play is Rutherford. Gives it over to second, and they're going to call Yurchek out at second to get the first out, although McVeigh will come in to score to make it 4-1 Bourne.
That's a big play by the shortstop, Zach Rutherford. Getting that backhanded grab. Making a play at second base. He seemed a little hesitant right off the bat.
So that was Tyler Houston, who's now on first base, the lone man on the base paths for the Braves with one out here in the top of the third inning. Eubanks deals. Chopped foul on the third base side by Jeremy Ehrman.
Ehrman rated one of the top prospects at shortstop his senior year by a perfect game. Number 3 overall prospect in the state of Missouri. Talented player. Good defensively. And had a nice freshman year for them.
0-2 count for Eubanks as he deals in slightly fighting that one off will be Ehrman. Stays at an 0-2 count.
296 average for Ehrman. 48 RBIs on the season, tied for second on the team.
Eubanks deals inside. Makes it a 1-2 count. 2 more runs have come across for the Braves tonight. And Hyannis now with 4 errors after the wild couple of plays there in the infield from Zyla to Henry over to Stajuar. So the errors are continuing to mount for Hyannis in game 3. And a swing and a miss there, though, by Eubanks to Jeremy Ehrman for the second out of the inning.
That was a great curveball. Good location called by Santiago, low and away. And you saw it, Eubanks earlier in the at-bat get a curveball hanging on the inside corner that Ehrman missed, and then he does it again with the curveball, this time going low and away, and fools Ehrman for the second out of the inning.
So here's Nate Carty faking the run there. Was Houston. We've seen Santiago make snap throws over to first before. 0-1 count. That one called inside on Carty as well. And a quick 2-0 count once again for Eubanks. Eubanks trying to escape the inning now, only allowing 2 more runs. And a slight chopper there as Stajuar chases it over, fires over to Henry at first, and he gets the final out of the inning for the Hard Rocks, but not before the Bourne Braves put up 2 more on the board as they lead 4-1 as we head to the bottom of the third inning here at McKeon Park. You're listening to Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Chatham Bars Inn Resort and Spa is the perfect blend of fun and excitement, a proud member of leading hotels of the world. Visit chathambarsinn.org to learn more.
we head to the the bottom of the third inning here at McKeon Park. Hyannis got a run in the previous inning, although 2 runs scored by Bourne in the top of the third inning make it 4-1. And up to bat for Hyannis, as we get to see Cameron Este, who gets 2 quick chop fouls into the netting for an 0-2 count. It'll be Este, Wharton, and back to the top of the lineup in Habercorn this inning, trying to continue to fight back here against the offense of the Bourne Braves. The 0-2 pitch by Moore upstairs for ball 1.
Este leading the team with 5 strikeouts, only has 1 hit, an infield single to short, and a lot of power in his bat, but he's gotten in some tough counts as of late. You already see was down 0-2, now working the count to 2-2. As lots of talent from the left fielder, that's why he's in the lineup for the 3rd straight night.
The 2-2 upstairs as Wong tried to place it, but it gets to a full count for Este.
And it's a tough frame for a catcher.
Payoff pitch, and chopping at that one and flying over the heads of everyone, and stays at a full count. Moore stares in. 3-2 pitch once again, and got Este looking there, did A.J. Moore, as Este will take a slow trot back to the dugout.
That's tough to go down looking there. The changeup that hung up in the zone. And Moore hasn't been as accurate with his changeup. That was really the only time that he's located it tonight, other than the dirt. 4th strikeout victim.
That one called for a strike on the newest member of the bats for the Hyannis Harbrox, and Drew Wharton. Wharton, also a member of Clemson, along with his teammate on the mound today. And Eubanks, didn't see much action for them. Only appeared in 26 games and 6 starts. And only batted 154 with 26 runs, or 26 at-bats, 4 hits, 6 RBIs, 7 walks, and 10 Ks. But he sits here with a 3-1 count from A.J. Moore.
Yeah, but a lot of talent from the right-hander out of Clemson. Number 10 prospect out of Georgia in high school.
The 3-1, and that one called for a strike on the outer half. Makes it another full count situation for Moore.
You know, with Warren and Eubanks, the orange and white cleats gel well with the Hyannis uniform.
Another payoff pitch and a swing and a miss by Wharton. So another strikeout for A.J. Moore. And it'll be his 5th of the day, and there's 2 away.
Tough for Drew Wharton there. He didn't read the curve right off the bat, and you could see his body kind of lurch out of the batter's box. He's trusting his hands, trying to foul that pitch off in the dirt. It was a good pitch from A.J. Moore to finish off the at-bat out of the zone.
So back to the top of the lineup in Trey Habercorn, who struck out looking in his first at-bat. There's the 0-1 pitch in the dirt for a 1-1 count.
Habercorn, after leading off his season with a double into deep left center field at Bourne Park, he's been quiet since.
The 1-1 fouled into the glove of Wong for 2 strikes as the wind gushing around here in McKeon Park as the Harbor right over the tree line in right field. 1-2 by Moore. Outside down low for ball 2.
Yeah, that cold air from the bay coming in, dusting over McKeon Park. Nice breeze.
2-2 and got him looking there. Wong placed it perfectly in the lower corner there. And so once again, striking out the side is A.J. Moore for his 6th strikeout of the day here, as Bourne still leads 4-1 as we head to the 4th inning here at McKeon Park on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Back here in McKeon Park. We head to the fourth inning here. 4-1, the Bourne Braves lead. And that one's called strike there as Eubanks still on the mound for Hyannis. And that one's outside for a 1-1 count. It'll be Rob Henry in the batter's box, and he chops that one foul to the dugout of Hyannis for a 1-2 count. Henry flew out to center in his first at-bat. 1-2 down low. 2-2 count on Henry.
Some good speed from Rob Henry. 7 stolen bases this past season.
The 2-2 right over to Rutherford, and he launches it over to Henry at first to get the first out of the inning.
Easy play for Rutherford, and just does his job. Nice easy bounce for him, right into the glove. As Hyannis has settled down a little bit defensively here since that wild play in the second inning.
And that one almost grazing Toby Hanley, because we're in the top of the lineup for Bourne. Following him will be Willie Yawn. And that one goes inside on Hanley for a 2-0 count.
Hanley 0 for 2 today, grounded into a fielder's choice in his last at-bat. Was the first strikeout victim for Eubanks.
2-0, that one fouled as well on the third base side for the first strike on Hanley.
He's been on base plenty of times. Drew 3 walks against Hyannis on Friday.
The 2-1, that one right past Stajuar again, out into left field, right near the line. Turning from first and stopping, though, as played well by Este over at left field. But man aboard for Bourne with 1 out, and they lead 4-1.
Este with a bullet over to Peter Zyla at second base. Strong throw, showing off the arm a little bit, and Carl Stajuar. Tough play to make, but looks like he was inches away from that line drive.
So 1 out and a man on, and Willie Young goes over to Stajuar and gets it with his glove, goes over to second, makes the play there, fires over the first, and they make the double play. Carl Stajuar makes the play over to second. They get it over to first in time, and the double play is made by the Harbocks, and they avoid any damage at all. 4-1, Bourne still leads here as we head to the bottom of the fourth inning here from McKeon Park on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Back here in McKeon Park as we head to the bottom of the fourth inning here. 4-1, the Bourne Braves lead. And getting worked immediately there was Peter Zyla as he nails that one into left field. He's turning to 2, sliding in, but the ball pops up in the air by McVeigh, and it's a leadoff double for Peter Zyla.
Zyla, he's flashing the teeth over there at second base. He knows that he should be dead out. Tried to make a big play there, but got a little lucky. Ended up with the double. It was a good hit, good piece of hitting. Take that the other way, but he knows that he got away with a little bit.
Before we came back on air, Bobby Melly, a well-known player here for the Hyannis Harbrox, was just announced and greeted by the fans here after being announced being drafted in the 34th round in the MLB draft. As that one high and tight in on Zach Rutherford. Unfortunately, we did not see where he had been. People were cheering and applauding. Unfortunately, we could not see from where we were his exact location. But congratulations to him and all 27 Hyannis Harbrox that were drafted.
27. It's a big number. Over 60. I think it was 70 Cape League players drafted. But 27 from one organization in one draft that's outstanding for an organization, without a doubt.
So Peter Zyla over at second with his team trailing 4-1. A.J. Moore struck out the side in the previous inning as he did in the first as well. And he turned back around and chases Zyla back over to second. Rutherford was one of those strikeouts, the final strikeout in that first inning. Looking to change that here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Moore deals the 2-0. That one right into the glove, though, of Ehrman, and sliding and getting the out there at second as extending himself too much was Zyla. A major hop by Ehrman, and there's two away.
I don't know what to make of that. That's unlucky for Zyla, but I think he also needs to recognize that Ehrman clearly had a play on it. And it was Ehrman almost at the end of that play, right before he caught it, it kind of just looked like he was going to get up and grab it. And Zyla just taking too much time off of second base, but unlucky all around. The second tough double play for Hyannis this afternoon. The other one coming off the glove of A.J. Moore.
Yeah, 0-1, and that one goes right into the glove from Truitt to Yurchek. And down goes the Hyannis Harbrox once again in strange fashion there for Hyannis as they go down with via two line-out plays by the Bourne Braves as they still lead it 4-1 here in McKeon Park on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu. We head to the fifth inning here from McKeon Park. The Bourne Braves leading 4-1 over the Hyannis Harbrox as Hyannis trying to find their first win of the season, starting off 0-2. Only the second game for Bourne, as almost all but one game rained out yesterday, except for the Hyannis Harwich game. So second straight game against Hyannis against Bourne, and immediately lines that one right into Rutherford's glove. So he returns the favor there from the previous inning, and there's one away.
Yeah, Hyannis offense so far through 4 innings has not been as productive as they were in the past 2 games, and you thought coming in that that'd be a little bit different with Carl Stadjar, his presence at third, as he has a hit tonight. But everybody else, a little bit quiet. Rutherford had an outstanding first 2 games and hasn't really put it together here tonight yet. He will. Can't expect to hit every single time he's up at the plate.
So here's Connor McVeigh after Connor Wong lined out just short to begin this inning. Bourne Braves, although still leading 4-1. Hyannis more errors than hits so far with 4-2. That one called for a strike, though. And a 2-1 count on McVeigh. 2-2 count. Scratch that. And that one slowly chopped over. Stajuar third, scoops it up, fires over to Henry, but he's not able to get it in time. And getting there safely is McVeigh.
Stajuar just having a tough time getting a handle of the ball. We saw him make that play earlier with ease, and this time just couldn't get the feel. We saw earlier in the first inning making an errant throw to first from, what was it, good fielding play by Stajuar. Just couldn't get a grip on the ball and make the throw.
Fastball in there by Eubanks for an 0-1 count on your check. Eubanks has thrown pretty well. It's just defensively where the struggles have been for Hyannis. And that one's in the dirt, though, for a 1-1 count. On your check, playing first base today. Sacrifice fly for an RBI in the first. And that one is lined out in diving play there by Truitt to make the play in right field for the second out of the inning.
He didn't get the diving play yesterday, but he does tonight. Nice play there by Trey Truitt out and right.
What a play by Trey Truitt, Adam Mercer. And holding Connor McVeigh on first and getting the second out of the inning here and keeping this only to a 3-run game for the Braves. That one going into the direction of Truitt as well, but high into the air. Truitt ranges over and makes the final out of the inning for the Hyannis Harbrox as they move out without any damage done, but the Bourne Braves still leading 4-1 as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning here for McKeon Park on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Back here in McKeon Park, Gabe Sussick, Jack Keffer here, and a 4-1 lead for the Bourne Braves. Game 3 for Hyannis, but only game 2 for the Braves. Stajuar getting to work early, right to Jan at third. He recovers himself and gets the play over to first for the first out of the inning.
Third baseman to third baseman, and Willie Jan with a fantastic play on the backhand. The strong part of that play, the throw. A bullet over to first. That's how you play the hot corner.
So one quickly away here for A.J. Moore, who, along with the help of his defense, has dominated on the mound today. Only allowing 2 hits. 1 run, but that was on a pass ball. And has 6 strikeouts to his name today.
Santiago grounding into the double play in his last at-bat.
And he fouls that one backwards.
Unlucky double play is hit off the glove of A.J. Moore. Right to McVeigh at second base. And Santiago, he showed Bourne with his 2 doubles that he can hit. No doubt about it. But since those 2 doubles was silent last night, struck out 3 times. Tonight trying to find that Bourne form back again.
The 1-2. Just missing the placement there was Wong, and it'll make it a 2-2 count.
I thought it was a good frame on the outside corner. Maybe a missed call. Good pitch from A.J. Moore.
Fouls that one. Almost into the dugout there. But nice play there by Cameron Este. 2-2 count still for A.J. Moore with 1 out already away here in the bottom of the 5th. Moore deals. That one lined right back into Moore. He can't make the play, and it trickles out into center field. So it's a base hit for Santiago with 1 out.
Yeah, in his first at-bat, that line drive shot was just a little bit to the right of where his single was, and we see the difference in result.
That one, it seems like Moore was trying more to get out of the way than to hit him and just extend his glove out there. And now up to bat is Cody Henry, who had his first home run yesterday. To left field at Harwich, and he gets a short grounder over to McVeigh. He fires back over to second as he was leaning back towards first. He's able to make the play and get the lead runner out for the second out of the inning.
Now, you mentioned that home run by Cody Henry, just absolutely unloading as a that right-handed hitter side. Smoked it in the left field trees out in Harwich. He hasn't had the success as a lefty that he has when batting righty.
And that one is hit foul right near the bullpen of Hyannis for an 0-1 count on Cameron Este. 2 outs here. Cody Henry over at first. Hyannis trailing 4-1 here in their home opener at McKeon Park. Fouling that one over the crowd's head, right over the hands of one unlucky fan. And it's an 0-2 count for Este.
Unlucky fan that he didn't get the ball, but lucky fan that he didn't break. Didn't look like he had it, but nonetheless, Este again finds himself down quickly early in the count.
The 0-2 by Moore upstairs for ball 1, but Wong giving him the point that he liked the placement, though.
You know, could be a contributing factor to Este's struggle so far. Only has 1 hit. Just getting down in the count early.
That one fouled off again into the crowd there, but too far for anyone to reach. 1-2 count here for Este, who's trying to stay alive against Moore.
And you can see where Moore and Wong are pitching Este. It's all fastballs to the outside corner, nothing on the inner half of the plate.
The 1-2, and running, trying to get there is Henry. Slide into center field, but Henry's going to stay still there at second, so it'll go down as a stolen base for Cody Henry. And now a man in scoring position for Cameron Este with a 2-2 count with 2 outs.
Boy, that was an interesting steal to say the least. Cody Henry took his secondary lead, was facing second base, and it was in Wong's glove for a good 2 seconds before he decided to go down to second base.
The 2-2. That one fouled off again by Este, and he remains at a 2-2 count.
And, you know, right now, Este, the problem that's happening is he's fouling off all those outside pitches. There's strikes, they're right on the outside corner, but it's because of the uppercut that he launches balls on the inside corner with, but on an outside pitch, really needing to just get more of the ball there and send it into left field instead of trying to pull it to the right field bleachers.
Another 2-2 by Moore. This time a swing and a miss by Este, so he goes down swinging. And a man left on base for Hyannis. The Bourne Braves still leading 4-1. We head to the 6th inning of play here at McKeon Park on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network.
Top of the 6th inning. 4-1 lead for Bourne Braves here at McKeon Park. And a pitching change for Hyannis. It's going to be Lucas Gilbreth out of Minnesota taking the mound, the southpaw. He arrived on the Cape 2 days ago, and a good left-handed relief pitcher, something that Hyannis was looking for, and they got one in Mexico State pitcher who just came up with Staguar, and now Lucas Gilbreth taking the mound. Had some good statistics for Minnesota. ERA a little bit blown up at a 5.46, but an effective pitcher out of the mound, out of the bullpen. Excuse me. First pitch away for Nate Cordy, the designated hitter. 0 for 2 on the day, reached on an error. Way back in the 2nd inning. Gilbreth with 28 innings pitched this year.
Another thing to notice as well, Jack, it's kind of sporting the A.J. Moore look here. His buns are down, although he has an Under Armour shirt under him, while A.J. Moore seems to be going full man and didn't have anything under that one.
Wind picking up here at McKeon Park, getting a little chilly. I think Gilbreth with a good idea to wear the undershirt today.
A lot of these players come from the South. I mean, Gilbreth from Minnesota, he knows cold, so this is nothing to him.
He can understand cold. Airman awaits a pitch. It's a ball down low.
But there's some players up here who, from the South, I've heard it last year. While it is somewhat cold, they think it's very cold when you're from the South here and you come to Cape Cod early on.
5 pitches and 4 balls. Jeremy Ehrman will be aboard with his first walk of the season. As Gilbreth, you can see a little bit of the struggles that he faced with this past year in Minnesota. A little wild. The control isn't there as much. 18 walks with 30 Ks on the year. Nate Corey stepping into the box. Inside, and Airman looks to get to second. He's ushered back. Gilbreth still trying to find the strike zone. Good pitcher for the Gophers this year. Used out of the bullpen for the majority of the season as he catches the inside corner there with a fastball.
Yeah, and this is the point where you got to see for Hyannis how they respond. Only 3-run game for them. It's some time to go, but it's a position that they have not been lucky with so far when it has come to relief pitching. You know, they've mounted a lot of walks so far during the season. So Gilbreth not trying to be another statistic there for him.
One pitch is outside for ball 2, and today you're really seeing what Hyannis has struggled with in the first 2 games. Defensively, making a lot of errors. 2 big errors against Bourne in that Friday game that might have cost them. Fouled back over the first base dugout. And on a pitching standpoint, just not throwing enough strikes.
I mean, that's been the biggest thing. I mean, they had a chance to win the game against Bourne in the first game, and then the game against Harwich, it really just blew up. But I would like to think part of that was due to the damp conditions and the conditions on the mound especially. But the guys are going to face different elements that they haven't faced before out here, and they had to face it early yesterday at Harwich.
19 walks from Hyannis pitchers. There were 10 yesterday, and Gilbreth catches the fastball on the inside corner. Cordy goes down looking for the first out of the inning.
It was interesting to see for Cardi if he was walking to the base or if he was walking back, if he knew it was a strikeout, because he's going the same direction either way. But getting the first out there, crucial for Gilbreth, as trying to make sure no other damage is done here by these Braves.
Lucas Gilbreth, a nice little fake pickoff move there. Very wary of the speed from Jeremy Ehrman as Rob Henry steps in the box for Bourne. Henry, a junior out of Brown University, hoping to get drafted next year after his senior season. Brown in the Ivy League did not make the playoffs. Princeton and Yale in the Ivy League championship, with Princeton won 2-1 in a best-of-3 series. Lost in regionals, however, as they faced a tough Louisville team who just today got downed on a walk-off grand slam against UC Santa Barbara. And yeah, one swing of the bat can change everything for a team, even as good as Louisville was, ranked number 2 in the nation. That is just a tough way to lose on a walk-off. And it was at their own field.
Yeah.
UC Santa Barbara was the home team, as Louisville was the home team last night.
You could say that's the game of baseball, but some people, especially Louisville fans, aren't going to like that, as they probably weren't expecting a grand slam. Maybe to get a little bit of runs, but not to end on one swing there.
Fastball on the inside corner hits for strike 1. As Gilbreth now working back from a 3-0 count. You're exactly right. A talented Louisville team with 3 first-rounders in this year's draft. Corey Ray, the number 5 overall pick. Gilbreth misses inside, and it will be a second walk of the inning. And I'll bring up the top of the lineup. Toby Headley making his way to the plate. And Coach Ray Korn will come out and talk to Lucas Gilbreth. And the first few days on the Cape here, I have to say that Ray Korn has become one of my favorite personalities on the Hyannis bench. The pitching coach. He's been coaching for over 50 years.
Yeah, and for Korn, he's probably, to his dismay, he's had to come out a couple of times already to give some talks to some of his pitchers. And only really just out there to try to calm Gilbreth down. He knows this is going to be his first appearance, and in a pretty critical spot here to try and keep the score the same. the 4-1 lead for Bourne, with Hyannis still some chances to get back into this game. But this is, in a way, been a story for Hyannis and their pitching so far. It's any momentum that they have, and losing that at some point in the game.
And Ray Korn calming the whisperer as comes out, and he knows when a pitcher's struggling between the ears. Inducted last year to the American Baseball Coaches Association. Snap throw down, and ooh, Cody Henry made it close. Good throw from Santiago.
Yeah, that one made Mandrick Asman stand up a little bit there. Probably always standing, but it made him walk around his footsteps for a second there. Definitely a close place. You could see from the fans' reaction of what happened there.
One out here in the top of the sixth inning. A big swing and a miss from Hanley. Moving the count to 0-2. 4-1, Bourne leads on 7 hits. They've gotten to Hyannis pitching so far, but also with a little help from Hyannis defense, 4 errors on the night. A total of 9 errors on the season already for Hyannis in 3 games. Oh, and it hit him. Looked like it hit him right on the thigh. I don't think it did. It turned on it. Maybe it bounced in the dirt, but it definitely looked from our view that it hit him. Obviously not walking down to first.
Yeah, it was hard to tell there for a second, but you can see a slight little bump in the dirt there where it bounced into him.
The 1-2 from Gilbreth. Swung on and fouled back over the first base dugout.
And Gilbreth in one of these crucial moments as trying to find a way either to get this only 1 out with Hanley or try to find a way to put 2 away for Hyannis, as struggled to find any momentum really tonight with the pitching of A.J. Moore.
Hanley spoiling a few pitches from Gilbreth as he fakes the pick off the second. Junior from Stony Brook University. Hanley, like Rob Henry over at first, getting a few cuts in a big-time summer league team. Had success last year for Brewster. Could be kept on as a temporary, or excuse me, as a permanent player for Bourne if he keeps producing. The 2-2. Low inside. Doesn't hit, and Gilbreth, after going up 0-2, now finding himself in a full count situation.
Yeah, major pitch coming up here for Gilbreth. Needs to find a way to just put a strike over the plate, make him try to swing him, induce a ground ball.
2 on, 1 out for Gilbreth. The payoff pitch. Inside, ball 4, and that's 3 walks on the inning for Gilbreth. No one warming in the Hyannis bullpen yet. But it looks like this inning is going to go to the Minnesota Gopher. And he's going to have to face the heart of the lineup in Willie Yan and Connor Wong coming up. Yan doubled back in the first. Grounded into a double play in his last at-bat.
Yeah, and Gilbreth, he's been trying to play with the inside part here of most of the righty batters, and he's just had a tough time getting the strike called there.
Finds the outside corner for a strike. Hyannis bringing the corners in. Staduar backs off a little bit, but Cody Henry up on the grass. Rutherford halfway. That one just missing low. Good location from Gilbreth. Gilbreth, his first summer on the Cape, but last year playing in the Northwoods League, as that one is fouled back out of play. Appeared in 15 games and made 8 starts with a 2.45 ERA. Struck out 53 batters in 44 innings of work, so really had it on in the Northwoods League. Now trying to bring it here to Cape Cod. The 1-2 swung on and missed by Jan. A good curveball in and low on the dirt for out number 2, signaling for some more baseballs. Ran out of view.
And that was a nice job there by Gilbreth. Way to get in there on that pitch, swinging by Jan there. And just a nice job by him. He was struggling really the whole time getting inside there, and finally found a way to break it inside and get Jan swinging. And now with a prime opportunity to escape this inning without any damage being done by the Braves.
Two outs here in the top of the 6th. Bourne leading 4-1. And Gabe, I'm getting a little cautious as there's a Harbor Hawk behind us.
Yeah.
That is some big feet. Number 99. What are we going to dub him? Harry the Harbor Hawk?
He has a name.
He flaps his wings for that one.
Has a name Ozzy, though, unfortunately. So I don't think you can name him a different name at this point. I don't think you have that right.
Gilbreth delivers. It's fouled off by Wong. As our newest Harbor Hawk is trying to shuffle around, trying to figure out how to walk with those big flappy feet. I'm sure that you'll see Ozzy. That's the name? Not
Ozzy.
Larry?
Not
Harry?
You even messed it up on your own. You
I
said
did.
Harry before, and then you said Larry. I feel bad for any pets you own.
The 1-1. Fouled off again on the first base side. I certainly do not own a bird.
It didn't have to be a bird.
Didn't
though.
have to be a bird.
As long as
Didn't
you
have to be a bird.
It comes down to the name.
Yeah. We get a few.
Maybe we'll see a real osprey at some point. They
Yeah.
do have a nest up there in the first lighting out there by the bowling team. Although don't see it yet.
Gilbreth steps off. He needs the sign again. Misses it as our little Harbor Hawk giving us a few flaps of the wings is going to try to give Hyannis some momentum. They're down 4-1 here with 2 outs on the top of the 6th inning. Payoff pitch way up in the zone to Connor Wong.
Yeah, once again, Gilbreth in position with 2 strikes. Has a way to finish this inning on his own after putting all 3 guys on base with walks, and would really do for the confidence boost if he's able to get that.
Easy to get out of this inning for Hyannis. To put any runs behind him. The 2-2. Fouled back again by Wong, spoiled. A really nice job of working this at bat. He's a tough hitter to get out. At Houston had 43 walks on the season. Struck out only 44 times.
And you can see this especially for him, that he knows the momentum of where this game can go with this one swing of his bat as well.
Swung on a miss, but it gets away from Santiago. It's fouled off. Home plate umpire will wave it down. Wong just getting a piece of that one to stay alive.
Probably a little bit happy, though, if you're Hyannis, that he tipped that one, because you're not sure if Santiago is going to be able to handle it. And would have proved to be an interesting situation with trying to make the play over to first.
We saw that looping curveball to the right-handed hitter against Jan. Got him swinging. 2-2 curveball doesn't hit. High in the zone, and now a full count to Connor Wong. Gilbreth has walked all 3 batters that are on base, trying to work himself out of a jam that he created. The payoff pitch. Swung on, chopped to first. Cody Henry is there. He's going to take it himself. He's going to have to beat out a quick player in Wong, and he does, as Gilbreth gets out of the inning. 3 runners left on for Bourne, and we will head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Bourne leading this one 4-1 on the Cape Cod Radio Network. A quick word from your Cape Cod Healthcare is the leading provider of healthcare services for residents and visitors of Cape Cod with 2 acute care hospitals and more than 450 physicians. For more information, please visit capecodhealth.org. Cape Cod Health, expert physicians, quality hospitals, and superior care. Four-to-one lead here for Bourne. And McLean Park, home opener for Hyannis. Pitching change here for Bourne. Andrew Wantz walks in to the mound. A.J. Moore doing good work in 5 innings. Held Hyannis to only 3 hits. Drew Warren fouls this one back.
Yeah, Wentz, some nice numbers for him so far. As appeared in 34 games, had a 6-1 record, a 2.97 ERA, and 78 2/3 innings pitched, 26 earned runs. A batter average against of 199 though, and they had a 117 WHIP as well, 97 strikeouts and 37 walks. Only allowed 55 hits as well for him. So some nice stats for the man out of North Carolina, Greensboro.
Warren watches that one go by for a ball. Count now 1-2. And Wantz earning some national attention as well. Was the National Pitcher of the Week way back on April 3rd. Was also the SoCon Pitcher of the Year as Wharton chops that one up the middle. There to grab it and making a good play, but the throw just not there was airman. So Wharton gets aboard with an error from airman. A tough throw on the run. Looks like they're going to count it as a hit, excuse me. The throw did go wide, but they're going to say that Warren beat it out. Habercorn comes to the plate. 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts looking on the day. And strikeouts seem to be a specialty of Andrew Wantz. Wantz, the co-pitcher of the year in the SoCon Conference. A first-teamer as well in his sophomore season. Was also the National Player of the Week on April 3rd. To go along with the Pitcher of the Week, of course. Big off attempt, no good. Wharton, not much of a threat to steal. Sophomore out of Clemson. And Habercorn out of Cincinnati. Fouls this one off.
But even though Wharton may not be a steal threat, this is possibly the way to turn out to be a major inning for Hyannis. You already have a guy aboard. They've struggled as of late with guys on base. And need to try to turn that around one way. And you have the top of your lineup up here. So these guys have been the ones that have swung the bats pretty well so far. And it could be a great way to get back into this game.
Peter Zyla on deck has a double on the day. Going out of Cincinnati, it was quite a coincidence. As the first game of the season at Bourne, facing his teammate, JT Perez, as he swings through that one for strike 3 and goes down as the first out of the inning. Habercorn not seeing the ball well as of late. Past few plate appearances have not resulted in getting on base, to say the least. But now Peter Zyla out of Duke will take his place in the left-handed batter's box. Big hole on the right side between first and second.
And while we have a moment here, Jack will talk about some other games that are going on throughout the Cape. Most teams playing in only their second game. As top of the 8th inning at Stony Brook Field, the Brewster Whitecaps up 11-6 over the Armageddon Red Sox. Top of the 8th inning in Falmouth, 3-0 the Harwich Mariners lead. In Spillane Field, it's 7-0 Wareham in the top of the 9th inning. And only in the bottom of the second, 1-0 Chatham leads the Orleans Firebirds at Veterans Field.
Harwich looking for the 3rd straight win to open up play. Their offense has been electric so far. 3 runs today for Harwich and scoring 12 yesterday. A little help from Hyannis, however. 3 errors. Zyla swings through that one. Strike 2. Wind picking up here, and as the sun sets, some of these fans and players getting a little chilly. That one was close. Warren got back just in time. The tag from Yurchek looked good.
Yeah, Warren getting a little risky over there, and we'll see if he still tries to overexert himself as he does take a few short steps further away from first base.
The 2-2, and Zyla just gets a Zyla's had some good moments so far on the Cape. He's also had his fair share of hard times, as is everybody so far. Still getting used to it. Done well at second base. Turned to double play today. Swinging through that one is Zyla. Second strikeout victim for Wentz.
Yeah.
2 down now in the bottom of the 6th. 4-1. Bourne still leading.
Zyla not happy about that one. He knew right as he swung he shouldn't have, but too reactionary to that to work for it, as went down there in that corner and just not able to hit it there, and a win there for Wentz.
9 strikeouts on the day for Bourne. Hyannis is, for as much success that they've had at the plate, 24 hits. The amount of strikeouts has definitely been concerning, with the number now rising to 32 on the season in 3 games, averaging over 10 strikeouts a game.
Yeah.
Zach Rutherford at the plate. Drew Wharton takes off. The throw is offline, and Wharton gets the stolen base off of Wong.
So Wharton, after waiting all that time, finally gets a good opportunity. Throw just a little bit late there by Wong. But going back to your point there about that, Jack, yeah, it doesn't help, especially with the pitching staff coming into the game allowing 17 walks to 16 Ks. So they're trying to get contact as Hyannis, although they have done that so far with 24 hits. Sometimes not as patient as Manager Gassman would probably like to see them at points in the at-bats there.
Warren's first stolen base here on the Cape League. First stolen base actually on the year. Didn't attempt a single stolen base throughout the regular season. It's nice to see that He turns on the Jets now.
He looked like he was itching to do it from the get-go, but
Yeah.
they kept throwing back to him, and
Finally got an off-speed pitch to run on.
both of them being close plays where there's pick-off moves back to first. Even that sliding attempt was a close one, slide in there.
2-2 pitch. Rutherford's away from Wong, and Rutherford's going to be safe at first. Runners will advance. And Rutherford, even though he strikes out, will find himself on first base with 2 down here in the bottom of the 6th inning for a big hitter and Trey Truitt, who hasn't gotten hot yet. When he does, he is certainly a threat. The outfielder from Mercer. A lot of pop in that bat.
Yeah, and so far that's 2 miscues by Wong. One of them really hurt hammering the game to give Hyannis the run that they have in this game with a Trey Truitt coming home to score. And now he's hoping it doesn't turn into more added runs as well.
Truitt swings through the first pitch. His swing path really works well with low fastballs. Big uppercut swing, as you can see, wraps that bat around his head. Reminds me in a lot of sense of a Manny Ramirez type swing. Although Ramirez's hands were a little bit closer into his chest, as Truitt puts them more towards his head and the back shoulders. The 1-1. Up high.
Also likes to twirl the bat around a little bit. You see all the different kinds of crazy batting stances. I mean, one of the most crazy ones you've seen is Kevin Youkilis with that crazy stance that he has.
Truitt swings through that one. Wharton thinks about it, but Rutherford will take off to second base, and now Truitt with 2 strikes on him will have 2 runners in scoring position. Trying to get at least one of them home. Rutherford with some decent speed at second. He can definitely score on a base knock to the outfield.
Yeah, now a lot of pressure is going to be put on Truitt here, knowing what kind of big momentum swing he can do here with just a single.
Payoff pitch. Up top.
And this is a position for Hyannis where they have struggled a lot in the first 2 games, leaving guys on base in critical situations and hoping to change that narrative right here.
Big pitch from Wentz in the dirt.
This is a good job by Truitt. Had 2 strikes on him, but finds a way to work it to a full count here and put the pressure on Wentz here to find a pitch and put it over the plate for Truitt to grab at.
Well, the pressure definitely on for Wentz, as he does not want to walk Truitt, even though he's a base open. And he does, and he will face the 13th All-American and Carl Stadjar. That's exactly what he didn't want to do.
Yeah, I mean, Stadjar coming up here, and only for him, it's only going to be his 3rd at bat, but it could not have come at a more critical time for Hyannis to find a way to, at the very least, put 1 run on the board. But with 1 hit, with 1 swing, you definitely can do more if you're Stadjar.
Tying run at first, the winning run at the plate here in the bottom, leading 4-1, and Wentz establishes himself with a first pitch strike. Stadjar hit 1 grand slam this year for New Mexico. Deep fence out in center, short porch and left. 320. Swings us through this one for strike number 2. And Andrew Wentz doing a nice job so far against Carl Stadjar.
Yeah, Wentz has found a way now to get to 2 strikes, although he had 2 strikes before on Truitt, and he found his way to get on base as well.
He's got some pitches to waste. We'll see if he does. That one inside, and it hit him. They're going to say it nicked his jersey, so that's one way to get a run, not the way that we thought. But an RBI hit by pitch for Carl Stadjar. Don't say that often. Drew Warren comes in to score. And Andrew got 2 quick outs. He only had Wharton on first. And it's been some struggles since, as they're going to come out and talk with him.
Yeah, and that's a hard way to go, especially when you had 2 strikes on Stajuar. You had, like you mentioned, like you had pitches to waste, and he decides to go way high and tight on him. And Stajuar really looked like it just grazed him simply enough, but found a way and barely moved even. And Hyannis now only 2 runs down here against the Braves, and a big moment for Santiago. We know he has the ability early, and a double would work wonders here for Hyannis at this point.
Benito Santiago to the plate, the catcher, who went cold yesterday as the DH. Today has 1 rip up the middle, rounded into a double play as well. First pitch is high from Wentz.
But now if you're Santiago, you've seen what's happening with Bourne right now, and you're going to sit there and wait for a while now. You're going to do what a lot of players have done to Hyannis and wait for a pitch to come and see what the pitcher does.
Foul away by Santiago. And this is the situation that Hyannis found themselves in against Bourne in the first game. Lots of runners on base, not able to knock them in. Already have brought 1 runner home here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Santiago swings through that outside pitch for strike 2. And now another 2-strike count for Andrew Wentz. We'll see if he can put Santiago away. Bases loaded here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. 4-2 lead. The payoff pitch is outside, and he got him. Santiago goes down, swinging with the bases loaded. Hyannis gets it, and they come within 2 runs. We'll head to the top of the 7th inning. 4-2. Bourne leads on the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Connor McVeigh to lead things off for the Bourne Braves. Lucas Gilbreth still on the mound for Hyannis, as he delivers a first pitch strike down the middle. 4-2 Bourne lead in the top of the 7th inning, and first 5 innings going very quickly in under an hour. But that 6th inning wasting away about another hour. Game of baseball can do that to you. Gorgeous evening here in Hyannis as well. Swung on, hit to right field. Truitt coming in. He's going to make the grab on the run. Good speed from Trey Truitt. That ball hung up there off the bat of Connor McVeigh.
Yeah, the one thing Truitt can show, it's his speed that he has. He's not been able to show it as much on the base paths yet, but he has been able to use that speed out in right field and done a good job being on the range very far over and getting the first out here for Gilbreth, which is necessary for Hyannis as they were able to get one run in that previous inning.
Gilbreth misses outside to Justin Yurchek. 1 for 3 on the day with an RBI single into right. Lined out to right in his last at-bat where Trey Truitt made a nice little diving play.
But yeah, going back to the momentum of it all, Hyannis had a chance to get more runs, possibly even tie this game up. But Gilbreth seeing that they are trying to make a push here late in the game.
That one gets away from him. Count moves to 2-1. Only 4 hits on the day for Hyannis. A little bit uncharacteristic from what we've seen, at least, in the first 2 games. Gilbreth trying to find the zone here. One Harbor Hawk warming up in the bullpen as that one just misses the outside corner. It'll be a 5-pitch walk as Yurchek will find himself on base for the second time today.
Yeah, and Gilbreth having some trouble finding placement with his pitches, as you saw in the previous inning where he walked all guys onto base. But seems like he still has a little bit of that, but he was able to find a way out of it in the previous inning. So hopefully things can't get too far out of hand and for him to be able to easily handle it.
First pitch strike to Tyler Houston, the sophomore out of Butler. Houston with 2 strong years at Butler, 324 his freshman year and a 308 average this past season. Had 2 at-bats last year in a cup of coffee with the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox. Gardner to hit in one of those 2 plate appearances. So he's been to the Cape before, but not quite like this. That was 4th at-bat of the evening. Runner takes off. The throw from Santiago is dead on, and Zyla, he's going to tag him right on the foot. What a throw from Benito Santiago. And if I don't say so myself, it's definitely in the genes.
And yeah, you definitely like what you see there from him, especially from a couple of other stolen base attempts previously when he was catching. He threw it way over the head at second, but nice job and a close play there actually at second, almost missing the tag.
Yeah, definitely not a close play from the throw, as Yurchek was still halfway to second base when the throw got there. The throw a little bit to the left of the bag. Zyla just had trouble tagging Yurchek. He got him, however. Now 2 down in the bottom of the 7th inning. 4-2 lead. A big swing and a miss. A nice curveball from Gilbreth, and he'll sit down Tyler Houston for the 3rd out of the inning. No one left on base after Santiago guns down the runner at second. We'll head into the bottom of the 7th inning. Hyannis trailing 4-2. Party in the USA here at McClellan Field as Ozzy the Osprey is attracting some crowd attention. She's giving out T-shirts. It took about 5 minutes to walk up the steps, but other than that, the Osprey is there. Definitely a different seventh inning stretch than we're used to. Big swing and the miss there from Cody Henry to start things off here in the bottom of the seventh inning.
Yeah, and the wind definitely pick it up here, Jack, later on this game. You can see things flying around. Chairs are flying everywhere. People aren't sitting in them. But Hyannis trying to find a way. So only down by 2 now. But still looking for a little bit. Gilbert able to get out of that inning quickly. But now Hyannis has to find a little more work here with the bats.
0-2 pitch to Henry. It's in the dirt. Cody Henry, 0 for 2 on the day from the left side of the plate. Another pitch in the dirt from Wance.
And this has definitely been the trouble for Wance, as he has gotten to a lot of 2-strike situations and has lost a lot of guys with those 2 strikes.
Walked the bases full in his last half inning pitched. Surrendered a run after he hit Carl Stajar. Nicked him on the jersey on the right shoulder. Full count pitch swung on and missed by Cody Henry. And Wance will get the first out of the inning. The strikeout victim in Henry. Three strikeouts for Wance on the evening. As Cameron Este will come to the dish for Hyannis. Este flares this one into center field for a base hit. And he'll find himself aboard with 1 out.
Yeah, and that was a nice job by Este after that swing and a miss by Henry. Able to get that into the outfield and find a way to get on base. And Hyannis has clearly found ways to get guys on base. And tonight they left the bases loaded once before, but hopefully can find a way to put at least a run or maybe 2 more back on the board before they can get to the 8th inning.
Here's Drew Wharton. 1 for 2 on the evening with a stolen base. And an infield single to short. A missed throw by Ehrman, the shortstop, but they credited Warren with the hit. Inside ball 2 up at the shoulder of Warren. And Wance has really struggled with the command so far this evening. He's gotten himself into those 0-2 counts, as you've mentioned. But the waste pitches have not been as effective. They've been very far out of the zone. That one bounces in the dirt. Now a 3-0 count as Bourne gets somebody ready in the bullpen.
Yeah, you can see the slight frustration with Wance, and Manager Gassman's going to come over here and talk to Wharton for a second, try and a little bit of a smile there as he knows it's only his first day here, but trying to give him a little call out here, as he does have Este over there at first, But time is running short for Hyannis in trying to get at least 2 more runs on the board.
Down the middle for a strike. Worms in the bullpen for Hyannis. Wharton now finding himself in a hitter's count. The 3-1. Swung on by Wharton. It's drilled into right field. Cruising under it is Henry, and he will make the grab for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, unfortunately for Wharton there, that one just stayed up too much in the air and ranged a little bit too far to right field where Rob Henry was at, and wasn't able to get enough time to land early enough. So leaves still 1 guy stranded, though, for Hyannis to try and find some way to keep the momentum that they've tried to grasp away from the Braves.
Definitely some wind factors, the wind blowing from left to right. And Wharton, he smoked that one into the right center field gap, but Henry playing far out. Trey Habercorn at the dish for Hyannis as he swings through that off-speed pitch for strike one. 1-1 the count.
Yeah, and this is what seems like for Hyannis a big pick your poison of whether you like them swinging at a lot of pitches and trying to make contact, which leads to a lot of the strikeouts that they have.
Foul the way, and Habercorn knows strikeouts all too well tonight. He's got 3.
It's the tough decision of whether you try to be as patient. Hard to lay off some things if you've seen them different times and have done successful things.
The 1-2, it's fought off and fouled back.
Almost made in the trash there.
That baseball no fan would want. Big gap on the right side between first and second. The 1-2. Swung on by Habercorn. This one popped up. Henry coming onto it, and he's not going to get it. It's going to fall right before him. Coming around third is Essay. He's going to slide head first in, and Habercorn is going to take off to second base after the misplay by Hyannis at third. Trey Habercorn will be credited with the single, and he'll advance on the throwing error from right field from Henry. We'll see if they mark it down like that in the book, but it won't give.
But no, that's a heads-up play, though, by Habercorn. Could have easily tried to stay at first and not being heads-up, but a nice job by him. And you saw Este just head down going for it.
Zyla fights one off, but not before Ehrman can gather it up at short. 2 runners in scoring position left on for Hyannis as the scoring opportunity is nulled. We'll head into the top of the 8th inning. Hyannis still down 4-2. You're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League Network. Top of the 8th inning and a pitching change for Hyannis. It's going to be Tyler Stevens, another New Mexico Lobos. As Carl Staduar definitely seeing the familiar face on the mound. Stevens, the right-hander, 6 foot, 215-pound sophomore. Had a good year this past season. As it's a first pitch strike. Jeremy Ehrman will lead it off.
Yeah, and normally Stevens, starter at New Mexico. 15 games started, a 4.34 ERA.
Fouled back.
Had an 8-4 record, 93 in the third innings pitched. Had 112 hits, though, 56 runs, 45 of them earned, 38 walks, 71 strikeouts, and a batter average against of 308.
Stevens comes set. The 0-2. Fastball fouled off and grounded right back at him. He'll walk it over and flip it onto Henry for the first out of the inning.
It's a good way for Stevens to come out here early. He's a big guy. As you mentioned, 6', 215.
I'm 6 foot. I'm not near 200.
Yeah, he's big force on the mound there, and you can see he has a lot of power with it. And something that Hyannis has to look at because they've seen pretty much all new guys today pitching.
First pitch strike to Nate Cordy, the designated hitter. 0 for 3 on the afternoon, reached on an error back in the second inning. As he drops in the curveball for strike 2, and that's exactly what Chad Gaspin and the rest of the coaches for Hyannis want to see. A guy out of the bullpen who's throwing strikes. The 0-2. Fastball fouled off. Good speed on it. As Cordy struggled with fouling off. Correction on that one. Luis Alvarado, the batter now, the pinch hitter. Alvarado out of Nebraska was 0 for 4 against Bourne on Friday night's game. Had a big opportunity with the bases loaded. Now trying to find his way on base here as he swings and misses. It's strike 3. Santiago throws down to first, and they'll get it for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, and Tyler Stevens doing a great job so far here in relief. Coming to this inning of Lucas Gilbreth, and in his first appearance, as you've seen Hyannis a couple of times, first appearances for some guys haven't been the way that they wanted it, but Tyler Stevens coming out here early, proving himself on the mound.
Rob Henry watches the first ball go by, and you're exactly right. It's been tough for Hyannis pitchers so far, but Stevens right now making a case to be maybe that number 1, number 2, number 3 guy out of the bullpen. Justin Lewis having a great outing against Bourne, 3 innings strong. Gave up 1 unearned run, And we saw Garrett Cave with a nice outing yesterday as that one flared into right field. Truitt has no problem with it. He'll put it away. A 1-2-3 inning for Tyler Stevens in his first outing as a Harbor Hawk. 2 more chances for Hyannis to tie the lead. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Down 2 runs, 4-2. Braves leading. 4-2, Bourne leads here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Pitching change for the Braves. Zach Spangler out of Kent State taking the mound, the submarine pitcher. As I guess we've seen 2 submarine pitchers now from Bourne. The first one in JT Perez, the left-hander, who comes at a very similar arm slot as Zach Spangler does.
Yeah, I would say he's definitely more of kind of a sidewinder guy. You would think how his motion of his arm goes that he's going to go to a submarine side, but it just doesn't get there for him. But appeared 18 times at Kent State, 2.35 ERA, only 23 innings pitched though. 6 earned runs, 2.15 batter average against, 11 Ks and 8 walks. So not much stats to go on there for the guy from Kent State, as he'll try possibly close the door, although there's still an arm warming up in the Bourne bullpen.
Rutherford swings this one. It may stay in play, but it's going to scoot its way out. Hits the light pole near the first base side.
Yeah, and that one carried, definitely. You can see. Not sure what that wind is going to be doing up there, although you see the flag out near center field moving to the right, and it definitely carried that far.
18 appearances for Spangler on the year, all out of the bullpen. Only 23 innings pitched, like Gabe said, and that's an arm that every coach up on the Cape loves to hear about. Somebody who hasn't thrown that many innings during the regular season. Looking for those guys everywhere. The off-speed, Rutherford will line it right to McVeigh at second base for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, and that time Rutherford not getting much on it there, and twice so far that they've lined it out there. Just not enough speed on it for the reaction time and just not enough to get it high over some of the gloves. But Hyannis needs to try and look for something just to try and make Spangler work a little bit, either to chase him off the mound or trying to just see what he has. And only have one more inning after this to try and tie this game.
Truitt launches this one into center field. And coming under in a nice sliding grab is Rob Henry. No, he doesn't catch it. Truitt will slide into second base safely, as that one went off the glove of Rob Henry. It looked like he had it, and because he was sliding with his back turned to us, looked like he came down with it. I think they're going to credit Truitt with a hit there.
Yeah, we'll get a hit there for Truitt, and an interesting play there by Henry, and trying to dive in there. Like you said, he faced away from us, so I'm not sure if he caught it and he might have dropped it out or if he just initially never made it. We just couldn't see the ball, but a lucky break either way for Hyannis, as we've seen Bourne make a lot of great defensive plays today, but now a chance, only one out, to try and continue to cut this lead.
It was hit well into right center field. The wind obviously taking it a little bit over. And Hanley looked like he might have, the center fielder for Bourne, it looked like he might have had a play on it. But Henry calling him off at the last second. Now Carl Stadjar steps into the dish. Another opportunity to knock a runner in scoring position in. An RBI hit by a pitch in his last at-bat. Smokes this one down the right field line. Slicing foul.
And he barely put anything on that one. I mean, the wind helped carry that, but that one flew all the way over near the 210 mark there for Stadjar. And you need to find a way here, because you got to look with Spangler. That thing's going to, at all points, really, it's going to come in near where Stadjar is at this point. So he has to find a way to quickly turn on that one. It would prove very helpful for Hyannis just to even get a base hit, and getting more would be a benefit.
Down the middle, but called ball. This is just coming to our attention, but due to camera difficulties earlier today, we had to use the laptop to stream the game, and it just took a look at the screen. Everything is mirrored backwards. Stadjar looks like he's a lefty up there. He is, in fact, a righty. So Whatever you've heard so far, please don't think that Gabe and I are losing it. Smacked into right field. Back goes Henry, and it's gone. Sneaks over the right field fence, and Carl Stadjar with one swing of the bat ties this game in the bottom of the 8th inning at 4.
And that is what you wanted there from the New Mexico Lobo there. Like I said, wasn't sure if that was going to make it. The wind kind of helped that along there and basically snuck right in between that 210 mark. Some of the kids are going to go and search for it now, but that is what Manager Gassman is going to give a little bit smile there. So Hyannis, one swing of the bat by one of the power guys that just came up here recently, and he shows it there.
Struggled in the first inning with an error. Comes out at the end of the game in the 8th inning to tie the score. Carl Stadjar automatically getting the respect that he deserves in the dugout right now, high-fiving his teammates. It didn't look like it was going to go out, but again, that wind factor from left to right really carried it. And Henry thought he was going to have a play on it, but he just ran out of room.
I mean, you saw in that previous at-bat that he had where he kind of tipped it over near the bullpen. That one carried as well, but that one just seems so low in the beginning. But the wind definitely seems to be moving back into the right out there near the harbor. So Stadjar, maybe a little luck involved, but he'll take it.
Santiago watches ball 2 go by. Totally different ball game here now. In the 8th inning, Hyannis clawing their way back from a 4-run deficit that they so eloquently buried themselves in earlier in the game.
Yeah, this is a different look from what the team has been doing the past couple of games here. Past couple of games, you wouldn't have seen that from them. Not able to get the guys off base, and Stadjar was able to do that. But now, only issue for them is that's not the lead they got. They only tied the game back up, which you'll take that if you're Manager Gassman at this point, because now you took the momentum away. But now it's going to be relied up to the bullpen for both teams.
Santiago goes down swinging for out number 2. First strikeout of the day for Spangler. 11th strikeout for Hyannis as Cody Henry makes his way to the plate. 0 for 3 on the day, reached on a fielder's choice. As batted as a lefty all afternoon.
Did have that home run being a righty, though, in that next game. So we'll see. The wind has helped Stadjar a bit. So we'll see if it can help Henry in this situation as well.
Strike on the outside corner as the count moves to 1-1. Cool. Pink and blue skies in the background as this windy, chilly night. It does not dampen the scenic beauty here on Cape Cod. 4-4 ball game here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Off the bat of Carl Stadjar. The 2-1 swung on, fouled back in our neck of the woods.
Yeah, and at this point, anything else that Hyannis can get is going to be a cherry on top for them. Just being able to get back in this game, all they were looking for.
The payoff pitch for Spangler. On the inside, and Henry lays off. Good-looking off-speed pitch. That's snuck in on Henry.
And you can see Spangler now shaking up just as Wentz was before, which is why there's still action going on in the bullpen for Bourne. So wait to see if Spangler returns for another inning after this.
Henry strokes this one to first. Your check is there. He'll gobble the ground ball for the 3rd out of the inning. But Carl Stadjar with a 2-run shot into right field to tie this game at 4. And we'll head to the 9th inning. New ball game here in Hyannisport. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss it. Top of the lineup for Tyler Stevens. 4-4 ball game, and Stevens with a chance to get the win if Hyannis can come back in the bottom of the ninth. Toby Hanley leading things off for Bourne. As Stevens misses that one low. 1 for 4 on the night. 1 for 3 with a walk. Is Toby Hanley.
And this is where usually being a starter and Tyler Stevens comes in handy. Andrew Gassman can play him for a longer period of time than he would if he just had a reliever out there.
On the outside corner for a called strike.
But Tyler Stevens' own teammate, Stajwar, gets in the tie game. So Stajwar handed over to him and said, it's your turn to keep us alive.
Big swing and a miss from Hanley on a nice off-speed pitch on the inside corner. And you're exactly right. Some new faces tonight for Hyannis, and the starter, Alex Eubanks, who pitched well, pitched to contact, 4 errors, led to 4 runs for Bourne. Now Stevens on the mound, launched into deep left field. On the run is Este, and he makes the grab over the shoulder. That ball came off very quickly. Toby Hanley smoking it in the left, but Este with a nice play.
Yeah, it was a quick reaction there by Este. A nice move over to range his way there and just making a great play. You thought that one had a lot of speed on it, that he wouldn't be able to catch it, but he showed a little bit there out in left field.
Este by no means the fastest runner on the field, but you're exactly right. That quick reaction really helping him on the jump.
But now you can kind of see a little bit here that in both dugouts, a little bit has changed here. Everyone on Hyannis got a little more jump in their step, while Bourne a little more down now. Kind of the opposite feeling of what it was in the previous game at Doran Park.
Leon fouls off the first pitch and then watches the second pitch go by. 1-1 the count. Jan with a good afternoon, doubled earlier today. Has since gone hitless, but doubled and scored in the first inning. Down the left field line. Inside. Stevens fell behind Handley, too. In that 8th inning, did a really nice job of staying ahead of the hitters. Now losing control a little bit, but working his way back. 3-1 the count now. Home opener for Hyannis tonight. And it certainly didn't open in favor of the Harbor Hawk fans, who showed out in numbers to the first game of the season here. Roped in between short and third, as Willie Young will get his second hit of the night.
Yeah, and that's just simply good hitting there by Jan. And a lot of them have found ways to get it over in that gap in the left field today. Nothing anyone could do there, but first time tonight that Stevens will have to work from the stretch. So we'll see how he handles it here. And if he can continue to keep Hyannis and this game tied up, as both bullpens are being worked out right now on both sides, as we'll see what Bourne decides to do with Spangler, as Spangler was the one that relinquished this lead for the Braves. So we'll see if he does return for the final inning, the possible final inning at least, or if we'll see someone else on the mound for the Braves. But right now it's Tyler Stevens' job at this point to keep Bourne from crossing home plate.
First runner that he has allowed tonight. Santiago snap throw down to first, and in there is Willie Jan. That one got away from Santiago, but he made up for it with a very close play.
Yeah, kind of a fool play there in a way. Not what he was trying to do, but if Yandon almost overextended himself there, and he knew it, just not enough reaction there by Santiago to make the throw over in time. But making sure he keeps Jan over there. While he does play third base, he's not the biggest guy and has some speed.
Connor O'Neill warming in the bullpen for the Bourne Braves. As Stevens pumps across a strike. An unnamed Hyannis player warming up in the bullpen. Number 34, who's not been rostered. Big left-handed pitcher. Could very well be John Gavin. Out of Cal State Fullerton. Fouled off on the left side. One out here in the top of the ninth, 4-4 ball game. 6 o'clock start time, and now the lights are noticeable here in Hyannis as Jan getting a big lead off of first base there. Santiago decides not to throw down. Wong has scored twice today after singling as well. 2 for 4, trying to make it 3 for 5 as that one just goes foul down the third base line. Stevens is not shot away from going inside. As Wong's got to go to the bench. Broke his bat on that one. These players still getting used to these wood bats. They've been practicing with them now for over a week. But definitely a different feel in game time.
Yeah, and it looks like Wong trying to give a little bit more there on the bat that he has. Always interesting to see. As my old friend Chris always asked the question, how much of a difference does it make with the coloring of the bat? If it being all white, all black, having a little bit of color into it. He always had that question in his mind as how much it makes a difference.
We'll see here for Wong as he launches this one into deep left center field. Going back is Habercorn. He's got some wheels under him, and he will make the grab. That bat almost created some good luck for Connor Wong. He just got under it. You see a lot of these balls launched into the outfield, and Wynn dead now, standing still out in right center field. First pitch strike to Connor McVeigh.
Yeah, but he had a good knock on it there, and it really looked like he had a piece of it, but it just went too far back, and Habercorn easily got it. And yeah, Wynn can definitely play a big part here at McKeon Park, and you saw it right there today with the home run by Stajuar, and then that really just pop-up there by Wong. And almost losing that one, and it trickled out into center field as Jan tried to steal, and a little off-cue throw there by Santiago. And so stolen base will go down there for Jan.
Santiago throwing one runner out earlier this evening, but unable to complete it there. 2 outs here in the top of the ninth. Tyler Stevens trying to work his way out of a jam. A runner now in scoring position. And he picks up another strike on Connor McVeigh. Done 2 errors today. Come around to score once. And also drew a walk back in the 5th. The payoff pitch for Tyler Stevens. Swung on and grounded to short. Rutherford takes a tough hop, and he's not going to make the play. That one bounced right into the gut of Zach Rutherford. And he will be credited with the error, the 5th one on the day for Hyannis. And it could prove costly.
Yeah, it seemed a little lackadaisical there for Rutherford for a second. Didn't think it was going to take any weird hop. Luckily for him, it did hop right into his stomach there. But just unable to make the play. Runners on the corners. And Andrew Gassman looks like he's going to relieve Tyler Stevens of his duty and bring in someone from the bullpen here. So we'll see what Andrew Gassman has in store to try and keep this game all tied up.
We'll take a short break. 4-4 the score line here in the top of the ninth inning with 2 outs and a pitching change with runners on the corners. We'll be back in just a moment. Top of the ninth inning, and John Gavin coming in relief for Tyler Stevens, who pitched 1 2/3 scoreless inning. He's responsible for the 2 runners on base. And John Gavin, no less than a giant on the mound, 6'6", 250. And he's a pretty good pitcher at that as well. Only 260 on base percentage average against him in opponents. And that is just the start of what is a fantastic stat line for John Gavin.
Yeah, he has a 2.16 ERA. Usually a starter. 14 of 17 appearances have been starts. 83 1/3 innings pitched, 61 hits, 20 earned, 31 walks, 57 strikeouts, a 2.06 batter average against. And you thought Tyler Stevens was a big kid on the mound, and Gavin can dwarf him in a sense.
First pitch, I called strike. He'll face the left-hander in Justin Yurchek. He's been on base twice today. Yurchek with an RBI single back in the 3rd inning. Gavin humming around 92 miles an hour. And I'm sure that he has plenty more velocity out of the bullpen as he gets a fastball in the outside corner for strike 2.
Yeah, it's not much of a different story here for Gassman, who switches out one starting pitcher for another. So depending on how far this game goes, he has a chance to rely on Gavin for a while.
The 0-2 delivery. Just getting a piece of it is Yurchek, who got fooled on the curveball.
And I think the one thing that this shows for Gassman is that he's trying to get a win for this team. He knows what this team has done to claw their way back into it with the big hit by Stajuar, that home run to right. And he wants to try and get that first win and push a little momentum back to Hyannis' side going in to tomorrow's game.
We'll do it again. The 0-2 pitch. On the outside corner for strike 3. John Gavin does a job against the lefty in Yurchek, and he sends him back to the bench. We head to the bottom of the ninth. Hyannis with an opportunity to get their first win of the season in the home opener, 4-4. We'll be back in just a few. Pitching change for Bourne in the bottom of the 9th inning. It'll be Connor O'Neill. O'Neill with a good season back at Cal State. Cal State Northridge, to be correct, as we just saw a picture in John Gavin from Cal State Fullerton. But O'Neill with a good season. Made 23 appearances. A 3.07 ERA and 59 innings pitched. As Este swings at the first pitch, grounds it foul on the first base side.
And you can see from Bourne here, they weren't going to let Spengler come back in this game after allowing that home run. Two rattled enough and was trying to get one guy to take it to extra innings.
Este swings at this one, and he gets a leadoff base hit into the left center field gap. Este rounding first. He's going to make a close play at second, diving in at first, and they're going to call him out. Cameron Este tried to be the hero and get himself in scoring position, but a strong throw from Handley out in center and a good tag from McVeigh. And Este, he was dead out at second.
And yeah, that's a situation where the adrenaline's pumping through you a little bit. You got a big hit there, and just too much rain there for Este and trying to become a hero where all he needed to do was get on base.
Drew Wharton goes around at the offering from O'Neill. Tough way to start off the 9th inning. It was a good hit from Este, his 3rd of the season, 2nd of the game. As Este, there should be Wharton. Watch strike 2 go by. Has an infield hit today and came around to score. Stole a base as well to get himself in scoring position. And now trying to get himself on base for Hyannis. Curveball misses in the dirt. Good block from Wong behind the plate, who's been solid all afternoon. He's really only had one runner in Wharton try to steal second base. Cody Henry did it as well with a delayed steal, excuse me. You don't expect Cody Henry to be stealing many bases this season. That's why it slips your mind. Swung on and missed. Drew Wharton goes down on strikes. And it's a quick 2 outs here in the bottom of the 9th inning for Connor O'Neill, the reliever.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Hyannis, had a chance to grab basically the entire momentum from this game, and they lost it there. So now at this point, trying just to save with anything you can with Habercorn.
Habercorn squares the bunt, drops it down, but it goes foul. Habercorn with a good thought, as all the way back at 3rd was Willie Yan. He's playing way back, and Habercorn has got some speed on him. All infield is back. Yan still not threatening to scoot up as Habercorn watches the first ball go by.
But Habercorn, big guy as well, too. Can get some power.
On the inside corner, looked like it nicked Habercorn. He got out of the way of it. 4-4. Bourne and Hyannis tied here in the bottom of the 9th inning with 2 outs. 8 hits apiece for both teams. Habercorn swings at this one. It's going to stay fair. Yurchek is going to pick it up and run it over to first for the 3rd out of the inning. So we're headed to extras here in Hyannis. We'll go to the top of the 10th inning. Ball game tied 4-4. Extras on opening night. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Hyannis crawling out of a 4-0 lead, or excuse me, a 4-0 hole, climbing their way back in the latter innings, and now getting a chance to win it. John Gavin will retake them out, and we'll take a quick break. Stick with us here on the Cape Cod Radio Baseball Network. Tyler Houston to get things started here in the top of the 10th, and John Gavin still on the mound for the Harbor Hawks, but a change in the field for Hyannis. Tristan Hildebrandt at shortstop, as Zach Rutherford will take a seat after 27 straight innings of ball for Rutherford.
Yeah, and Mandry has been throwing him in there, and you think for the most part defensive reasons.
Chop to Hildebrandt. First play of the game, gloves it, and the throw is a bullet right on time. And Hildebrandt fits right back into where he was last season.
Yeah, he played a lot of his games at shortstop, played a little few games at third base. Came pretty late in the season, but a little fast and had some decent contact hits. He's a big swinger. You'll see if he gets up to bat that he has a very big swing when he tries to get hits there. But possibly playing him also for defense, but also because he knows the guy on the mound a little bit. So maybe that part plays a little added defense.
Stroked into right field, a base hit for Jeremy Ehrman, the shortstop. Teammates at Cal State Fullerton, they were knocked out in the regional round as they faced a tough Texas Tech team who made it into the Super Regionals and are deciding their fate today.
But this was the reason I was talking about before, keeping Gavin, who now, as a starter, can go basically, you only really can go 12 innings here in the Cape League until it becomes a tie.
Wind blowing in now. Big swing and a miss from Alvarado. Alvarado came in to pinch hit for Nate Carty, the designated hitter, who went 0 for 4 in tonight's game. Now Alvarado searching for his first base hit of the year on Cape Cod as he swings through that one. A nice curveball by John Gavin.
Yeah, Alvarado only had a 251 average while he was at school there for him, so critical situation. And for Gavin, I had 2 strikes trying to strike out or induce a walk or ground out here.
The 0-2 pitch from Gavin. Swung on, chopped foul, and Cody Henry's not going to have a play on it.
But you can definitely like what you see so far from Gavin, even though if you're Manager Gassman, you might not have wanted to put him in here specifically and maybe hold him for a possible start either tomorrow or at some point. But you get to see him a little bit now and what he can deal with, and he's done pretty well tonight coming in as relief with some great stuff going so far and is able to pretty much stop Bourne, who had been swinging the bats pretty well before he came in.
The 0-2. Chopped foul.
And you can see Alvarado just barely hanging on here with some of these swings and fouling them off inch by inch and just trying to stay alive here against Gavin.
Seems a little lost at the plate, yeah. You can get the sense that Gavin is in control of this at-bat. He's located a good off-speed and a good movement on his fastball. This one creeps inside for the first ball of the at-bat, but out of the bullpen for Hyannis, it's been the West Coast pitchers who have really done nicely, and Tyler Stevens and now John Gavin. That left side of the infield also representing that West Coast. You got Hildebrandt, Cal State Fullerton player, and Stadjar, who tied this game in the bottom of the 9th inning with that 2-run shot into right field out of New Mexico.
You've seen twice now with Gavin. He's tried to go inside a little bit, both with a fastball and a breaking pitch. So we'll see what he gives Alvarado here.
On the outside corner, Alvarado putting together a nice at-bat here, really toughening it out and making John Gavin work for that last pitch, like you've said.
Yeah, I think you have to appreciate at least what Alvarado's been able to do, just being able to stay in this at-bat. And he has very barely been inching off some of these foul tips at the end of the bat and pretty late as well.
2-2 count to Luis Alvarado. John Gavin kicks and delivers. It's fouled off again. 8 pitches in the at-bat so far. Bourne doing a nice job of making this top of the 10th inning a little tough. Things have significantly cooled down here, even though the wind might not be as present as it was earlier in the game. With the sun gone, it is chilled. Grounder to third. This could be 2. Stadjard is second for 1, and they're not going to have the throw on to first.
Either way, nice job by Stadjard. Has had to deal with some awkward bounces all day long.
He's really tested in the first inning.
Think about it in the beginning, when even later on, mostly in the beginning of the game, though, it came after him one after another, and he just couldn't find his way to try to make some of those plays, but able to handle that one and just get over the lead runner. And that's all you can do right now to get the second out.
It was a rude awakening for Stadjard third with the 4 ground balls hitting his direction. But since then, he's settled in, and he certainly put his mark on this game. Rob Henry steps in. 5th plate appearance of the game. Has reached base once on a walk. Gavin will check it first. And he'll throw over. Alvarado, definitely a threat to steal.
Yeah, at this point, I don't think Bourne's taking any chances. So they're just trying to find ways to get guys on base here against Gavin, who's been a tough out since he's been in.
Wind picking up just a tad, going left to right, as Gavin hits with a fastball in the inside corner. And you're right, since as Gavin has progressed throughout the game, he's tried to establish that inside on right-handed hitters. We saw it against Alvarado. And now here against Henry. The 1-1. Fouled back.
Alvarado is 4 of 6 stolen base attempts. So, not too many times, but even with that, unless he had a crazy amount, I wouldn't expect Bourne to try and risk trying to get him just in scoring position and possibly get that final out.
Never want to make that final out on the base paths. The 1-2. Inside. Just missed. You can see Gavin grimacing there as he's really trying to get that inside strike, establish that inside strike zone.
He's done it a couple of times now, and only because most of the part when he's been going outside, they've been able to be late on it, but they've been able to make slight contact on it.
The 2-2 from Gavin. Swung on and lined into center, coming on is Habercorn, and it's going to land right in front of Hildebrandt, but Alvarado tripped up at second base. They threw to Zyla just a little bit too late. Alvarado was rounding second, trying to make his way to third, but tripped up. Makes his way back safely. So Gavin surrenders 2 hits in the inning. Still trying to find that third out here in the top of the 10th.
Yeah, and even though for Alvarado, while he may have tripped and he probably had a close shot over there at second, Habercorn, you saw, was quick to release the ball there where he saw an opportunity and he just released it a little too late there and it got in the dirt and now it'll make the play, but Gavin still with some time to work here. He's had to work a lot harder in this inning than the previous time he's been out.
Credit to the Bourne Braves hitter as well, who have really made Gavin work for everything. He's thrown plenty of strikes, but a lot of foul balls. Alvarado with a 9-pitch at-bat ended in a fielder's choice. Toby Hanley at the plate now for the Braves. Check swing that results in a foul ball. Hanley 1 for 4 on the day with a walk. He has yet to get past second base. A talented player out of Stony Brook. We mentioned played for the Brewster Whitecaps last year. Started in 39 games. Swung on, opposite side. It's going to get through the hole. Coming around to score will be Alvarado. The throw is offline, and Bourne will take a 5-4 lead here in the top of the 10th inning off an RBI single by Toby Hanley.
Yeah, and that was simply just good hitting here by Bourne, just being able to get in places that Hyannis can't do it. They had that little popper out to center field to get guys on, then right through the gap. Zyla did all he could there, but wasn't able to have the speed to reach it over there. But you're Gavin, though. You let up one run, but you'll still have an opportunity with your team coming up to bat. So just trying to only give it one run for your team to only climb back that much.
Yawn with a big swing and a miss on the first offering from Gavin. And, that hit, just a slow roller between first and second, giving Alvarado plenty of time to round the bag. And Truitt made it close. He's got a strong arm, but just a little bit offline. Fouled back, and it's quickly 0-2.
Yeah, you can see now Gavin just firing in straight fastballs at this point and trying to just blow by Yawn for the final out.
Home plate umpire calls time as the bat boy for Hyannis. Took a while getting behind the screen trying to get a ball. That must be a fun job. Here's the 0-2. Swung on a miss by Willie Yan. So John Gavin gets the third out of the inning, but not before Bourne strikes. They're ahead 1 going into the bottom of the 10th inning. We'll bring it here. We'll bring all the action right here in Hyannis. We'll stick with you through the break, as it's been an interesting game here, as Hyannis surrendering 4 errors early on to give Bourne an easy 4-0 lead, but then crawling themselves back with some timely hitting, some good power hitting from Carl Staduar, and some good pitching later on in the game.
Yeah, I mean, Hyannis in no way looked like they were ready for what was happening in this game beforehand, just not able to get hits. A.J. Moore was dominant on the mound when he was in there and really shut them down for the most part, but then once they got to the bullpen, they kind of trickled away at it. Staduar, a nice home run. The wind probably helped him a little bit, but he won't be the one to tell you that. But they did get back in this game, and you have to credit them for that. John Gavin's going to be kicking himself over that one after he blew 3 straight fastballs right by Yan, but wasn't able to get the final out in time. But now it's up to the bats now. And you look at it, you got Zyla, Rutherford, and Truitt up here. These are all guys that have been able to hit pretty well so far. And at this point, while winning the game would be something they want to do, I mean, you can still go to the 12th inning. So at this point, tying the game is the major goal here for this team. And still have O'Neill on the mound, who did pretty well in that last inning, aside from that single and out by Cameron Este. So at this point, I think your manager Gassman, that's all you can do is put in the hands of the top of the lineup and see if they can find a way to pull themselves out of this.
We'll get underway here in the bottom of the 10th inning as Peter Zyla ropes a grounder into the the first base dugout of Bourne. Zyla 1 for 4 on the day. Doubled back in the 4th. That is a very similar play to Este in his double as he rounds this one foul again. Seems to be early on O'Neill, but very similar plays with Zyla stretching that single into a double and Este trying to do the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Manager Gassman has probably told everyone that just try and get on base and we'll try to work you home.
Off speed misses And the count moves to 1-2. And Zyla was dead out on that play, but a mishandle by the second baseman and McVeigh popped the ball up, and Zyla slid in safely. Fouls this one back.
But Zyla doing a good job at least. He's fouled up a couple of pitches. He's trying to get a little bit more contact swing there, and he needs to just try to find some way to get on base here, and at the very least try and continue to work O'Neill so some of the other guys can see what he's given.
The 1-2 pitch from O'Neill. Swung on and missed by Zyla in the dirt, and O'Neill has his first strikeout victim of the 10th inning. As Tristan Hildebrandt will make his way to the plate for the first time this season for the Harbor Hawks. Hildebrandt taking over for Rutherford, who was 0 for 4 on the day.
And
First 0 for 4 night for Rutherford. First hitless night, as he previously was 5 for 10.
yeah, but there's no way to say it for Hildebrandt. Did struggle in his sophomore year at Cal State Fulton. For the most part of the year, batted below 200 for him. But up here in the Cape, when he was up here, batted about 250 and patient at home plate and takes big cuts if he sees it good.
Hacks at that one there. That one will land fair. Good play from Houston, the left fielder, to cut it off, but Hildebrandt is going to slide into second with a one-out double here in the bottom of the 10th inning. And, Gabe, you talk about swinging big. Tristan Hildebrandt, in his first at-bat this season, crushes that one down the left field line.
Yeah, I mean, Hildebrandt, he's played it before. He's played in more 10 situations than this. He played in the Cape Cod Baseball League Championship Series here. He's been through a lot more than what is only game 3 of the regular season. And, yeah, I mean, not want to say I'm psychic, but on cue, he does take a mean shot there. He's got the speed now and in scoring position for Trey Truitt.
Truitt doubled in his last at-bat into right field. We'll see if he can do it again against O'Neill here in the bottom of the 10th. Fouls that one out of play, first base side. Truitt definitely a free-swinging player, as one might call it. A lot of torque in his hands and hips. You can see that front hip closed off to the pitcher, and those hands just loaded back by his head. Down the middle for strike 2. O'Neill caught him looking. And now Truitt needs a little bit of different of a plate approach here.
Yeah, at this point, you have to play defense if you're Truitt. You kind of saw it come up there and looking like he was trying to become the hero and win this game. But at this point, all you need to try to do is either get a far pop out and at least move Hildebrandt to third.
Swung on miss, but this one is going to get away from Wong. It's the second time it's happened tonight, and Truitt is safe at first as Hildebrandt advances. It's either going to be a wild pitch for O'Neill or an error on Wong, but nonetheless, the second time that's happened, and you do not want the winning run on base with this man at the plate.
Yeah, Carlos Staguar coming up to bat. We knew what he did last time. Unfortunately, the wind is not as gusting as it was before, but O'Neill has seen what he did to his counterpart in Spangler, and you're going to see he's going to play very defensively, and it's going to be O'Neill. The Bourne bullpen is probably closed up shop for the day. It's going to be O'Neill one way or the other, and yeah, this is where you got to fear for yourself. I mean, Connor Wong, while his team has the lead, has definitely had 3 key moments, that being the third, but those 3 key moments really coming back to bite him at this point when you talk about what allowed the first run with Truitt. He allowed another one basically in the same direction, and then he allows that one to get away from himself too. So situation here for Bourne that Staguar at this point, like you said, does have the power to end this game right here, but all Manager Gaspin wants is use that power, and if you can't get a home run, send it far away so Hildebrandt can at least score on the tag.
The tying run at third base in Hildebrandt and Trey Truitt at first. Carl Staduar, a 2-run shot in his last at-bat to deep right field. We're going to do it again here in the bottom of the 10th inning as he watches the first one go by for a strike. We talked about Staduar a lot this game as it is his first on the Cape. And really before this game, Gabe and I talking about how this team needed consistent defense and pitching before it needed another big bat. But boy, has Staduar proved us wrong in that sense. A curveball that falls in for a strike. O'Neill with a nasty pitch there.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be impressed with what O'Neill's doing. O'Neill, completely the opposite. He's going right at Staduar. He's basically betting on him to try and hit something he's giving him right now.
We'll see how it pays off for him against the third-team All-American in the dirt for ball one.
And at this point, you got to credit everything that Connor Wong is doing behind the plate right now. It's in the back of his mind of what's happened to him so far, and a key defensive stop might have been right there.
You cannot let a fourth one get away from him, as he's had a tough day back there. But now is crunch time for the Bourne Braves. The 1-2. Staduar swings and misses. Connor O'Neill with a huge out, possibly the most important one of this game. And Staduar just got fooled on the curveball in the dirt there.
Yeah, it's the second time he went to the curveball there. He saw Staduar missed it the first time. And O'Neill went right at him. O'Neill wasn't going to try and pitch around him and try to make him swing at stuff. Went right at him. So now up to Benito Santiago, who is 1 of 4 today, 2 strikeouts. Did have that first game with 2 doubles. Doesn't need a double at this point, just needs something to get out into the outfield.
13 strikeouts against Hyannis today. And if anything, that is a telling statistic. The biggest strikeout coming right there. As there's now 2 outs in the bottom of the 10th inning with Bourne leading 5-4. And Benito Santiago, the last hope for the Harbor Hawks in this one, trying to find their first win of the season, and they'd love it to be at the home opener. Swings, chops one, right back to the pitcher. He'll throw to first, and O'Neill will get the win for the Bourne Braves, their second of the year. As Hyannis, it's been the problem all season so far. They've left runner in scoring positions, and they leave a big one there in Hildebrandt at third base here in the bottom of the 10th.
Yeah, Hildebrandt came in, did his job perfectly. Trey Truitt able to get to first base on that, and it's now 3 big games that Hyannis is going to have to swallow early on here. 2 of them against the Bourne Braves that they just have not been able. It seems like the Demons are still around here with this Hyannis team and the Bourne Braves from last year. But an unfortunate way for them to go down. You can't be happy if you're Benito Santiago going down on that slight chopper there. But the only good thing about the Cape Cod Baseball League, you get another chance usually the very next day to try and go out there. And Hyannis has to try and do it to win that very first game of the season.
Hyannis traveling to Orleans tomorrow. A 7 o'clock game against the Orleans Firebirds. Making some progress in today's game, however, not on the defensive end, 5 errors, but later in the game, definitely were more solid. John Gavin will be credited with the loss in his first appearance as a Harbor Hawk, and O'Neill will pick up the win for the Bourne Braves. For Gabe Sustick, I'm Jack Keffer. Here in McLean Park, a 5-4 Bourne win. We'll head to Orleans tomorrow and hope for a Harbor Hawk win, the first of their season. you.
What are we doing here?
All right, we're going down.
I don't know what's going on here.
Do you want us to do the whole thing?
Got it.
You're more than welcome. I'll just